being said, I am in the midst of listening to and hearing and trying to cater to all of the conversations that are happening around Dominique Morgan and all of the people who have something to say or weigh in about that. Now, contrary to popular belief, or contrary to, I guess, the easy thing that folks are doing, which is making content and money and drive off of Dominique's name, I want to talk about the things that are being sparked and brought up because of Dominique Morgan's name, which are the conversations that everyone seems to be having around the fact that there is this. I watched this young lady name it this morning, the Gucci belt phenomena of activists and creators and, influencers and advocates of sorts. One of the things that I want to name, and one of the things that I think has always been tumultuous for me as a person who is in this space, is a large part of society will have us believing that everybody wants you to win. And I've learned as a person who wins occasionally that everybody don't want you to win. I think that people just don't like the idea of looking like the haters that they can be sometimes. And so therefore, folks are inundated with this idea that in order to not look like a hater of you, I have to look like a supporter of you, even if I don't actually support you. And that is what I think sparks these think pieces around activists versus influencers and all of those things, and how it puts people in this space where when we talk about activists and influencers and the Dominique Morgan situation and so many other situations that are like it, you have all of these people that will come out of the woodwork and say, well, this is a product of activists who are capitalists and activists who, do X, Y, and Z. Because I ain't gonna hold y'all. I came home the other day after leaving to go and do a couple of different things, and my husband had bought me a gift, and that gift was a Chanel bag. And I have a lot of really nice things that I got, not even from my activism, but things that I've gotten because outside of activism, I have so many other avenues and ways that I make money. But the issue is, oftentimes, what I realize is that a lot of you all only see us as the activist that you followed, or you only see us as the advocate that you followed. You don't know what we do in our regular life. You don't know what we do in our daily life. And this part, I don't want anybody to be confused. This is not me talking about Dominique anymore. It is specifically me still talking about the fact that at the end of the day, that conversation has opened up a conversation about why activists and all of these other people need these things, and why certain people are being uplifted over other people. And I think that all of those conversations are valid, but in order to have them, we have to have the conversation about the fact that folks will uplift you and your message and your standpoints and your viewpoints and all of that stuff up into a certain point. Because what I've understood and what I recognize is that people want winners. They just don't want people to win so much so that they can no longer have access in proximity. And what I mean when I say that is, a lot of people love to clap for a person until that person becomes a person that they feel like they can no longer relate to, have access to, call up, laugh with, kiki with, or my personal favorite, a person who they believe that is no longer in their spending bracket. I had a lot of people that were cool with me on the way up. I had a lot of people that were fine with me on the way up, folks that loved my ideals, that loved, everything that I had to say, until people with reputable, reputations started to also back me, until I started to get awards that weren't just from community, but awards that were from large conglomerations, until they started to see that just about all of the shoes in my collection are either super designer heels or, what some would consider to be super, expensive sneakers. And all of those things can exist and should exist at the same time, because I think that as people who we are propping up, as we are lifting up, as people who are doing the work and putting our bodies, and as, Auntie Madison told me on the podcast, are doing our soul work, we also deserve to take that money that we get from our soul work and pour it into whatever the fuck we want to pour it into. But the problem that I've noticed with a lot of people on the internet and on the interwebs, and a lot of the activists that are doing the grassroots work and all of those things, is that because you decide and because you use your money, your access, your resource, your whatevers to do something different, you expect that all of the activists, the advocates, and all of the other people should be doing the same thing as you. So if you are using your money, if you are using your resource, if you are using all of your things to build a chicken coop in your backyard, or if you're using all of your money and all of your resources and all of your things to take care of your dying grandmother, then you expect that anybody who identifies or says that they are an activist or an advocate should be doing the same. And you all want to dictate what people decide is important in the midst of whatever struggle they're fighting for. I can be fighting for equitable healthcare. I can be fighting for better jurisdictions on these fucking maps that they keep fucking up. I can be fighting for homelessness and still want to go and buy a bag because that's the thing that makes me comfortable and that is the thing that I can afford. I am not saying that I am anti-capitalism, because I think that at some point and at some and in some degree we've all bought into a capitalist system. Some of us like to buy bags and shoes. Some of us like to buy electronics. Some of us like to buy fresh produce. Some of us are going to take that money and we're going to give it back. Some of us are going to take that money and we're going to go on trips. But none of those things deter or should deter people from acknowledging that a person's work is valuable and that it's helping folks within community. Just because a person buys a Chanel bag, it does not make them an inherently horrible person, and it doesn't make the work that they do any less valuable. And I think the problem is, outside of all of the things that we're addressing and talking about, we're not talking about jealousy within the movement. We talk about what it means to celebrate people and give folks their flowers, but we don't talk about why that is so hard in the first place and why we had to even start to advocate for giving people their flowers in the first place. And a lot of it is because when people would see folks in community leveling up, doing their thing, getting their ones and their twos, or whatever the case may be, there was this complete burying of that person at that point in community. And I want y'all to think about it. Every major activist, every major person that has done some form of social justice, they get clapped and they get hand claps of praise, and everybody is their best friend and everybody loves what they're doing and everybody loves everything that they have going on, until those people start to level up and look like the things that they've worked for. Let me say that again. Everybody wants to be friends with the person and the activists and the people and the advocates that are out here, boots on the ground. As long as we stay boots on the ground, as long as we stay dirty, as long as we stay hair undone, makeup undone, nails undone, and we're talking about the freedom fight. But the second that you show up at a gala, the second that you show up with a nice bag, the second that you show up with anything other than poverty-stricken lifestyles, people want to all of a sudden turn you right into this horrible individual who is not about the things that you say you're about. The way that I live my life, the way that I choose to dress, the home that I own, the car that I drive, whatever it is, does not deter or should not deter people from the fact that at the end of the day, I am fighting for the circumstance to get out of the circumstance, not to continue to perpetuate the circumstance as I live through it. And I think that the only way that you're going to truly activate or galvanize people to do something different is if those people see that there's a possibility. Activists and advocates and all of those people are not just, we are not just freedom fighters. We are actual people that have to live in the same struggle. But the other thing that I think a lot of folks don't understand or recognize or want to understand or recognize is that we still have to be possibility models. If we're doing all of this yelling and screaming, and if we're going out here and we're marching and we're doing this and that, and nothing about our circumstance is changing, why should you expect to believe and or follow in our footsteps if our footsteps aren't even leading us to a better way of life? The reason why a lot of you all follow us isn't because y'all don't see life changing for us. The reason why a lot of you all follow us is because you see that life is changing for us. You see the level up, you see the growth, you see the money, you see the car, you see the this, you see the that. And the thing that I hate about it, because y'all tried to pull it with Elizabeth Booker, is that when people have a little bit of something from the things that they busted their ass for, y'all want to turn around and do away with their platform and start over with somebody new, only to repeat this process over and over and over again. Our activists, our influencers, our advocates, the same thing, Absolutely not. But I think that y'all got people fucked up when y'all expect all of the advocates and the activists to not go out here and do what we need to do for ourselves because we don't want to make y'all uncomfortable with the fact that we've been able to garner a living from the things that we put on the line. And I want to be very clear. The difference between activists and advocates and influencers are that influencers wake up, and if they stop doing this work today or tomorrow, if Instagram goes out of business today or tomorrow, those people cannot sustain themselves. There's a difference between being an activist or an advocate with a platform and the ability to be able to influence people and being an influencer. And I tell people all the time, I am a person with influence. I'm not an influencer. If Instagram went out of business tomorrow, I would still be able to eat. If TikTok shut down, I would still be able to eat. And not just off of my husband, because I know a lot of y'all are going to sit back and say, well, your husband in the military, of course you'll still be able to eat. No, I would be able to eat because I have a degree. I would be able to eat because not only do I have a degree, but I have certifications. I would be able to eat because I have lived experience. I would be able to eat because I understand how to tailor my resume so that I am a viable candidate for the positions that I go out for. I would be able to eat because I understand what it's like to be a hustler. I would be able to eat because my world does not revolve around Instagram being a thing or Facebook being a thing or YouTube being a thing in order for me to live the life that I live. And I think that a lot of you all don't do enough research about how some of your faves actually get our money because you assume based off of your following of influencers, right? That is how advocates and activists live. And it's just not. It's just not. The amount of tooth and nail fighting that a lot of us have to do in order to even get in some of these rooms and be paid, especially if you are a Black or a Black or a brown or a queer or definitely a trans influencer. I have to tell y'all something right now. A lot of the people that sit around and complain and talk shit about how Hope Giselle is this and Hope Giselle is that, and I get paid all of this money to do so and so and X, Y's, and Z's, like y'all couldn't be further from the truth around that. A lot of your favorite Black and brown creators and influencers, we spend all of this time in rooms together talking about how we are being underpaid and overused. We spend all of this time talking about how they will pay these white creators and all of these white folks out of the ass and then ask them to do less work than they ask us for. But we have to turn in our soul and a contract to our firstborn or our grandmother in order to be paid a quarter of what they're paying these people to show up and do absolutely nothing while being judged even more harshly than some of those people. And so what I also want to break down this morning and talk through real quick, if y'all will have me, if y'all will let me, is the fact that I think that some of you all have this idea that once you get to a certain level or once you get to a certain space where you do become inaccessible to everybody, that somehow your politics change. And it's not that my politics change. It's not that our politics change. Most of the time, y'all see us ascend and y'all's politics change, which is the reason why a lot of your activist friends stop talking to y'all. It's the reason why a lot of your activist friends become inaccessible, because a lot of you all will not acknowledge and refuse to acknowledge the fact that when some of your activists and your influencer friends get a half of a bag, all of a sudden y'all don't call us to check in no more. Y'all are not calling us to kiki about life no more. You're not calling us to go to dinner anymore. You know what you're calling us for? You're calling us because you want me to hook you up with T.S. Madison. You're calling me because you want me to see if I can get Laverne to pop through. You're calling me because you want me to see if I can put a call in to this person and get Duran Bernard to perform. But a lot of you all want to turn around and then call us, fake activists, fake people for the cause, say that we've changed, say that we've completely stepped away from from who we were when we first started. And the truth of the matter is, it's not that we've changed who we were from once we first started. It's the idea that you did not and you can't manipulate us in the way that you thought you were going to be able to have access to manipulate us. And so now the thing that you want to do is use this lack of space and knowledge and room with us to make us seem like we're these horrible people, when really, if you had access to Duran Bernard through me, if you had access to T.S. Madison through me, if I was giving you access to Monroe and all of these people without fail, we would be the best people in the world. But because you can't pimp your ride off of me, now all of a sudden I'm a bitch, I'm fake, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm all of these things. And I think that a lot of y'all need to check the amount of privilege that you think you should be able to have with your influencer, activist, and advocate friends. A lot of y'all treat us the way that influencers treat other people within the industry. It's not about the work that we've done. It's about who you know we're connected to and how close you think you can get to that person by way of us. And y'all think that we don't see it. And then when we clock you for trying to clock us about what we spend, when what you're really trying to do is trying to shame me into being able to give you a connection, then y'all want to turn around and create this hate train. And I think that that to me is one of the most sinister relationships that I've seen. And this Dominique Morgan conversation has really helped to play out a lot of this in real time. I'm seeing a lot of these think pieces, and a lot of people are saying things like, oh, well, you know, I just believe that Dominique, you know, if she had focused on this, that, and the third, and she was one of those, you know, those Gucci belt influencers and all this and that. I really love that I don't even know the young lady that made the video, but it was just so funny and cute how she coined that, like, Gucci belt influencers or whatever. Because I have several. But it was just funny because I understood what she was saying, but the way that she put that together was just hilarious to me. But I also feel like there is this influx of people who are trying to also say that if Dominique had not fallen into capitalism like so many of the other activists and so many of the other advocates, then maybe this would not be a thing, because if you weren't so blinded by trying to get these things in a closet, in a bag, or whatever the case may be, you wouldn't be in the predicament that you were in that would have put you in a space where you felt like you needed to, you know, allegedly take this money. And I beg to differ. I like to believe that a lot of us have different ways that we want to live this thing here that we call life. Everybody has a way that they want to do life. Some of us want to do life modestly. Some of us want to do life with our family permanently attached to our hips. Some of us want to do life that is somewhere in the middle of that. And some of us want the lavish life. I think that I balance life somewhere in between looking really lavish and living really comfortably. I love to look like I have $1 million. I love a label. I love a shoe. And not necessarily just because of the label, but because as a person who loves fashion, I love fabrics. I love when clothes are heavy. I love when I know that a design is going to last me. I love when I know that somebody took time. And also, I'm a nerd in certain ways. Some of y'all nerd out about the fermentation of pickles. I nerd out over the fact that somebody spent an entire year blowing glass to turn them into beads, to put them on this dress, to be beaded, and it's only going to be worn for 20 minutes on this red carpet, but it looks stunning. And the visual impact that it makes and the historical and cultural impact that it makes shifted the way that the fashion industry moved for the rest of the year, right? For me, those things and that stuff, baby, that gets my coochie wet. Like, I really, really enjoy watching and looking at and seeing how those things come together. That is my jam. And I feel like I shouldn't be punished for the fact that when I get on and when I do have a little bit of coin, the first thing that I do is I run to the fashion section, because none of those things take away from the fact that I am still out here creating my content, that I'm still out here trying to organize and do things, that I'm still out here giving back to community in major ways. And I think that a lot of people are willing to overlook the way that you show up because of the way that you look when you show up, or because of the things that they know that you have when you show up. So my question to a large part of this audience is, do y'all actually want influencers, or do y'all actually want activists and advocates to receive our flowers? Or do y'all just want us to come step and fetch for y'all and disappear before the money, the fame, and all of the access to the rooms that we've been fighting to get in by way of these people disappear? Y'all want, it's like y'all almost want us to touch the glass ceiling ceiling, but never break it, because you know that if we break it, then we'll be in a different place from you. And whether or not we act as if we're in a different place from you, it doesn't matter, because it's about the idea, yet again, of having proximity. So when people say things like, oh, there are Gucci belt influencers, or, oh, if you had leaned into capitalism, this wouldn't be a problem. I doubt that. Gas is $6. Capitalism is coming for you regardless of whether or not you want it to come for you. You know why? Because if we're not working, and if you're not working to keep up with the actual economy in this particular moment, your ass gonna be homeless, babe. You gonna be homeless, babe. And so all of us are out here engaging in some form of capitalism in order to make it through our daily lives and be able to do the basic and bare minimum things like survive. And then the rest of us take the rest of that money that we make after we survive and do things that make us feel good. Some of y'all go on science field trips. Some of y'all go to the Dairy Queen and do your ones and twos. And some of us go to Gucci. And I don't think that anybody should be faulted for going and doing the things. Now, I understand some people are going to sit back and say things like, but Hope, these things are capitalistic and all of these people, and they do this to children and the chop shop and the this and the that, and you advocate against these things, and you are just a fake bitch because how dare you, and da 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 da. Well, let me tell you something, baby girl, baby boy, sibling, person. You on that phone right now watching me pissed off, probably typing in your group chat as we speak in this particular moment. And that phone was probably made by some children who are underage and whose fingers are probably bleeding right now. But you pristine over there typing and about to give me a whole dissertation about something. Meanwhile, you are using a sweatshop phone to do it. So let me also let you know something. The car that you drive, or the Uber that you get in, or that MTA, or the subway, or whatever you're about to hop in, came from somebody's labor that they were not fully paid to actually do. All of us are engaging in some sort of politic that goes against the very thing that we say that we're about. But at the end of the day, y'all, none of that stuff matters, because we've managed to navigate the fact that there is nothing that we are going to be able to change about a system that is fully designed to make us feel helpless until we actually start to thrive in that system and we're able to change it. We can complain about who's doing what and whose kids are in the sweatshop and whose kids are not in the sweatshop at X, Y, and Z. Or we can spend our time making sure that we navigate this system and use it to the best of our abilities, so that way, when it's toppled, we are not so oblivious to how it works that we have to start all over and give these people an opportunity to find their footing. No, we know how the system works. We know what parts need to be dismantled. We know what parts need to be done away with. We know what parts of these things work and don't work. And I think that at the end of the day, a lot of you all don't actually care about the activism. You care about the fact that you are not the person being uplifted and exalted. A lot of you all don't want to admit that you are indeed a narcissist who wants to see yourself win and wants to have other people thank you for your service. I think that there are just some people in the world, myself included, who are okay to say, you know what, I am a bit narcissistic. I do need a little bit of extra help getting that whoop wop bam in the morning. And some of that comes through the comments that you all leave. Some of that comes through the encouragement that you all leave. Some of that comes through the bookings that you all make sure that I can get. I'm not going to pretend like I don't like those things. I'm not going to pretend like those things don't get me up out of bed in the morning. I'm not going to pretend like those things are not just as important to me as the work that I am doing to get them. But the thing about it is that I am working to get those things. I am not asking for those things because I've done nothing. I'm not showing up and waking up as the person that I am. A lot of activists and advocates are not just showing up and waking up as the people that we are and telling you that you have to bow down and kiss our asses because we exist. We are doing the work so that we can get the flowers to feed our narcissistic asses. And I think that so many of you are so hell-bent on pretending like you're not narcissist. You're hell-bent on pretending like you don't care. You're hell-bent on pretending like you don't want. You're hell-bent on pretending like you would never. And whole time you are behind the scenes, nevering like you've never done before. If all of us let go of the facade, if all of us stop trying to pretend to be these hyper woke ass individuals and lean into the fact that we are flawed human beings and that we can work on those things, but there are simply things that we are just going to find enjoyment in that we should not. And as long as those things are not illegal, involving children, or lack of consent, I am willing to make space for the fact that people are going to fuck up sometimes. There are so many things that all of us draw hard boundaries on, but none of them are always going to be the same. I draw a hard boundary on listening to R. Kelly. I absolutely do. But if Summer Too Hot by Chris Brown comes on, you best believe your bottom dollar I'ma listen to it. And I do not like the idea of what this man has done and what he's been able to build, but those are things that I can't justify because I am a flawed human being. The R. Kelly thing pisses me the fuck off for whatever reason. But listening to Chris Brown's music is a negotiable depending on how much I like the song. And I am willing to admit that. And I think that there are so many of you all who claim to be self-righteous and so much bigger than the program that you are out here pretending like you don't do any of these things. And because you're not a social person, because you're not an activist, because you're not an advocate, because you're not a person with influence or an influencer, you get to sit back and do all of this judgment for the comfort of your home while also listening to Chris Brown, while going to a concert, while actively paying into the system that makes this man super rich. But you get to complain and bitch about somebody who decided to post about it and be vulnerable about the fact that they are a human being because it makes you feel good to tear somebody else down who you feel like has gotten a platform and has gotten notoriety that you don't believe you'll ever be able to touch. And that is not that person's fault, but you're going to make it their problem. And that sucks. And I hate that for y'all. I really do. I really do. I hate that for y'all. I absolutely hate that for y'all. And I just think that, like, as I've been sitting here looking at, listening to everybody else's opinion about this whole Dominique Morgan situation, I'm finding that that is a thing that constantly comes up in conversation. Is people having a broader conversation? Not that I think that y'all shouldn't. Y'all should definitely be having these broader conversations, but it's definitely brought up a broader conversation around the way that y'all are talking about people who have influence and access. We've got to do better about not labeling folks as pariahs because their value system does not include a value system that is anti every fucking thing. We are not going to be able to fight every single battle. People pick their things, they sink their teeth into them, they research those things, they bury their head in the sand for those things. And a lot of you all are ungrateful for the little bit of stuff that people do and really hold themselves accountable to. And then y'all turn around and y'all want to make people beholden to stuff that you are super passionate about. And that's just not the way that this shit works. That's not how any of this works, Martha. That's not how any of this works. All of us have passions. All of us have things that are going to hit us for specific reasons. Some things are going to hit you for cultural reasons. Some things are going to hit you because of the sex that you were born. Some things are going to hit you because of the race that you are. Some things are going to hit you because of the way that you navigate life on a daily basis. Some things are going to hit you just because they hit you. You are going to become emotional about some shit that you didn't even know that you gave a fuck about. But here you are in the bathroom at a Wendy's crying about this issue. And that's the thing that you are going to really like hone in on for the rest of your life and for the rest of your career. And then there's going to be something that other people think are super important that you're just not going to find a lot of validity in. I lost a person who I had a parasocial relationship with that I actually enjoyed. And I can say her name because I don't think that there's any beef or anything like that. And I can acknowledge, that this happened. But there's a young lady, she's a photographer, and she is a parasocial friend of, or at least she was. I think she opted out of the relationship, which is okay. But we were parasocial friends, and she's a photographer. And I remember when I started to, get deep into my editing bag and I wanted to pull things together and I was using the resources that were available to me. One of the first things she said to me when she started to see my content was, "Oh my God, Hope, this is really great information. I absolutely love that you're doing this, but I really hate that you're using AI." Let me tell y'all something. AI and its uses is not that big of a deal for me. For me, I am not going to, jump out of the window about the AI thing because for me, it is just not that big of a deal. Do I know all of the things? Do I know all of the risks? Do I know all of the stuff that's happening with AI? Absolutely. I am not an environmentalist, person that's going to jump out of the window because everybody named mama is still using it. I don't personally believe that me not using it to make sure that I can do what I need to do on my end is going to stop or change anything, because I am simply one little trans girl that's using, the tools of AI, and half of the world is using it. And I just feel like, why should I have to not use it just because this one person is like, oh my God, Hope, I absolutely love you, but I can't stand the fact that you use AI. It's not that deep to me. If you are going to be a person that's going to go all in for the AI, do that on your page. And I find that so many people will like unfollow a person just because it's like, well, you care about all of these other things, but you don't care about this one issue that I am super passionate about. And it's just like, I can't care about every single thing that you are passionate about. I cannot make all of your personal issues my thing. And I think that that's a thing that other people are also missing about this whole thing, when y'all are starting to say things like, oh, a lot of you influencers have lost the plot because of X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, nobody lost the plot. People just don't have the same goals and ambitions around the plot that you do. All of us are in space where we are trying to figure this thing out, and we're trying to hold ourselves true to our values. But in holding ourselves true to our values, we have to also acknowledge and name that some of us are not going to have the same set of visceral responses around each thing. You talking about Black people, you talking about Black women specifically, you talking about the Black queer community specifically, oh, I'm in your ass. But if you're talking about the Ethiopian people who just so happened to do a thing and they might have been starving, I'm going to care, but I'm not going to be in your ass the same way I'm going to be in your ass if you tell me that a Black woman was just hit outside of the flea market yesterday by a white cop. And I'm not going to pretend and apologize for that either. We all have a lane. If every single person that you deemed as an activist or an advocate or a person who has influence was talking about every single thing that everybody deemed important, nobody would have a niche. You wouldn't know who to follow for certain instances. And you would not, right? You would not understand who to actually follow, because everybody would be out here pretending to be an expert about every single topic. I love the fact that there are some people who are not going to discuss trans issues because it gives me more room with my lived experience and my expertise to take over that market. I love the fact that there are going to be some people that are not going to bring up or talk about the fact that HIV is almost at a space where we can truly be talking about a cure, because it gives me more room to talk about the things that I know with my research and all of the space that I have in these places to zone in on my niche. A lot of you all don't respect the fact that sometimes people are not talking because they are not researched. A lot of the times you all don't respect the fact that somebody isn't saying something because they are not passionate. A lot of the time, a lot of you all do not respect the fact that people are not a part of that, or they're not doing the work around that because there's somebody else with a smaller platform that they want to give space to actually grow in a thing that they are passionate about, that they are doing the work on, that they are doing the research on. I know that a lot of you all love me. I know that a lot of you all love my hot takes. I know that a lot of you all love to hear me say, I await, after a statement that I've made ever so eloquently. But the problem is that I have a pernicious relationship with taking up space from people who have been doing, living, and actually exploring this in a way that's going to be a lot more beneficial than me, who is going to pick this up for the moment and then put it down. And when you come back looking for an exacerbated response or an expounded response on that, I'm not going to have it, because I only cared about it for that day. That is not my lane. That is not my niche. That is not my thing. And so therefore, I am choosing to abstain from that, because there is someone that is better qualified to give you that information. And I think that if we allow ourselves to really give people the space that they need to explore a lot of these topics, we'll find that you can change. Maybe there's a person who's going to be on here talking about AI and how it's bad so well that I'm going to say, you know what? I didn't see it from that standpoint. And now I'm going to do my due diligence to try to stay as far away from it as possible, given what I do on social media and for a living. I'm going to do my part to make sure that I contribute less to this situation. But if I'm out here trying to pretend to be an AI expert, all I'm doing is pissing myself off because I'm making this harder for me. And ultimately, one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to backslide and face more backlash because then I pretended to care about something that I did not, or I'm going to be miserable doing the work. And then y'all are going to stop getting the information because I'm going to feel constantly policed about using AI. And so since I can't use it, now nobody gets what they need. I think that if we stop trying to label everybody as something, if we stop trying to put a handle on everybody, if we stop trying to villainize people for simply being human beings, we'll find that if you let people live in their lane, you get better information. If you let people live in their truth, you get better information. If you let people live in what it is that they are passionate about, you get better resources. You do not get better resources by forcing someone who cares about the plight of African children to talk about the plight of the kids who are, white and going to boarding school in California. That is never going to work. Just because a person might have overlapping ideals with a subject, it does not mean that they're going to be as passionate about that subject for whatever reason. You never know why your favorite influencer is talking about fashion. You never know why your favorite influencer or political strategist is specifically talking about redlining. You never know why your favorite advocate only talks about the plight of Black men. You never know why these people are doing the work that they do. A lot of people don't know or understand that the reason that I go so hard for HIV activism is because I lost my dad before my graduation senior year to HIV. A lot of y'all are out here whispering about the fact that I might have HIV, and there would be nothing wrong with it if I did have HIV, but I am not thriving with HIV. However, I wish that my father was still here because my father could have been thriving with HIV, and because he did not have the information that I'm giving to you all, because he did not have somebody that was doing the work in the way that I am doing it to let my dad know that it was possible for him to be all of the things at the same time, and that he did not have to stop taking his medicine, and that he did not have to not be here because one day there would be a pill and there would not be all of this super long regimen that frustrated him, and he would still be here. That is why I'm connected to this work. Y'all never know why somebody just does not want to veer off the path because you're in the comments pressed about what they're not talking about. I tell y'all this all the time. If you are so passionate about something that you are willing to get into somebody else's comments or somebody else's DMs or somebody else's Patreon to bitch at them about why they're not talking about it, then you have the time on your hands to get onto your own platform and do that thing for yourself. You have the time and the wherewithal and the gumption to be able to get your ass onto that same platform and learn the things and do the research and find the words to say the things about that topic on your own. But trying to bully other people who have connections to their work for specific reasons into making your issues their holy grail is never going to go over well. And it doesn't end well for anybody because ultimately you turn people off of doing the work that they were so excited to do. And now all of us suffer because the information that people who were super passionate about that particular topic now are missing a person who was super excited to do the work because somebody else wanted them to focus on something that they have absolutely no connection to. And we've got to be more careful about trying to force everybody to talk about all of the topics that you are passionate about when they don't have the bandwidth, the know-how, or the actual give a fuck to make sure that they are educating us with love, care, and thoughtfulness. Because a lot of these people do give y'all what y'all want and they not thoughtful about how they do it. And then y'all running around saying that these people are, tainting the space, but you asked them to join the space. They was over there minding their business making shoe content. And then you called them in and now they over here in your space and they haven't done no research. But guess what? They wouldn't have been over here if you would have let them do their shoe content. A lot of you all don't understand the difference between activists, between advocates and influencers. And while I understand that there's a bit of overlap there, a lot of y'all need to understand that people don't owe you anything, but they damn sure don't owe you a pivot just because. I think that there's a lot to be said about this Dominique Morgan situation and why she's there. But I think that the cop out is y'all trying to turn around and make this seem like she's in jail because of a love of fashion or because of a love of nice things. I don't know that she's in jail because of a love of nice things. I'm not sure why Dominique is truly in jail, but again, she'll be able to tell us more about that when she gets out. But what I do know and what I do understand to be true is that a lot of you all cannot wait to call somebody in for leveling up because you don't have what they have and you're not willing to admit that that is what you truly want, because you love the idea of looking more woke and looking more approachable and looking more down to earth than you actually are. And you also know that there are other people who are going to join the bandwagon with that, because there are less people who have access to these funds, to these people, to this type of lifestyle. And so you are really just building a community of people that hate on those folks until you become one of them, because that's the inevitable. All of you all who sit back and talk shit about the people who are doing things in the X, Y's, and Z's, have y'all ever noticed how those people build an entire career on not having and not doing this, and oh, it got to be sustainable, and then they do one red carpet, they get one speaking gig too many, they get one promo deal too many, and all of a sudden they're making excuses for the very same things that they told you 2 years ago was fucked up and wrong. And the same person that they built their career off of hating on and talking down to is now their bestie, and they're doing YouTube get ready with me hauls together and going to influencer events every other Thursday. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's all I got to say about that particular topic. A lot of you all want to pick and choose and decide how and when people get consequences and who is deserving of consequences and who isn't. But y'all are not really out here picking and choosing and making proper decisions around who exactly this is going to affect if we force everybody into one silo to talk about one thing or to talk about everything that they get chastised for. A lot of us are out here wondering why people are falling off or why people are making pivots to doing things that are a little bit less important during a time where all of us should be focusing on the things that are important. And it's because the people that are focusing on important things are constantly being inundated with what somebody else thinks is important. And a lot of us are sick of it. I keep telling y'all over and over again, I'm getting ready to make my Jackie Ina pivot. And a lot of it is because I'm sick and tired of doing activism work for people who turn around and make up lies. I'm sick and tired of doing activism work for people who are going to question and have comments about my outfits. I'm sick and tired of doing activism work on Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday when I decide that I want to throw on a little designer, now you in the comments talking about I ain't no real activist. I'm sick and tired of trying to do the work to get into the rooms. I get into the rooms and now somebody says that there's 5 other people that should have been in the room besides me. People are tired. So in a time and in a world where y'all need people to lock in, where in a time and in a space where y'all need people to really show up and do the things, y'all are running people away from the work because don't nobody want to have to always turn around and worry about whether or not there's going to be backlash. You know what there's never going to be no backlash with? Me and this Laura Mercier motherfucking setting powder. Ain't going to never be no backlash over here. You either like the product or you don't. I ain't got time to argue with y'all over setting powder. And y'all ain't gonna argue with me over setting powder. You just not gonna watch the video. And I would rather you not watch the video than for me to pour my heart and soul into something that I care about. And instead of y'all focusing on the topic, you're focusing on the fact that I was wearing Gucci earrings in the video. And some of y'all have got to realize that you are 2 seconds away from running away some of the best minds in this game and some of the best people to disseminate this information because you can't get over yourself. And that's just that on that. That's just that on that. So when y'all see me out here in these streets, twirling and whirling in my Gucci, as y'all like to say, just know that it wasn't the first choice that I had, but it was the choice of peace for me and my family and my own mental health. Because if I allowed y'all to make me both feel like I had to stay in this activism space while also putting up with some of the bullshit that y'all throw out there, baby, I would be in a ditch in a box somewhere, messing around with y'all. So somebody in the comments, I believe on Instagram, says, what can we do more to support you, Queen? I think that a lot of people like to watch my videos and a lot of you all like to watch the things that I post, but I don't get a lot of engagement. If more people commented on the videos, I think that would put a lot more visibility to the things that I'm trying to expose. For instance, the other day I made a video where I read James Charles for Filth rightfully, right? I want to say I might have put my phone down for like 30 minutes or so to take a shower and do my ones and twos. And in 30 minutes, I came back and that video had 2,000 likes and over 200 comments. And that was a video where I was talking about James Charles. Now, mind you, y'all know I'm going to always throw in a little bit of social justice activism stuff in there. And so there was definitely a message within the message on that. But the day after that, I made a video where I was talking about Columbia University giving out a free class that they don't normally offer for free, where you would be able to get a certification from Columbia University. And that video barely moved. And it only currently still has 80 comments or something on that video. And I think that oftentimes y'all will tune in for the reads, y'all will tune in for, oh, I think Hope is mad about something. Oh, I think Hope is about to yell about something. But the second that y'all see that I'm out here doing things that are positive, or when y'all see that I'm posting stuff about HIV work or HIV research, when y'all see that I'm posting things about the political climate and X, Y, and Z, those videos don't get shared or they don't move as far. And I think that a lot of people will sit back and ask, like, well, why aren't trans women in the political space? Why aren't trans women in this space? Why don't we see more Black trans women being invited to so and so? And it's because y'all don't share Black women's content. And so the people that invite folks to those things don't believe that Black trans women are important to the conversation, because nobody is sharing the work of Black trans women who are doing this work. I have been talking about politics for the last 3 years. I've been putting people, I've been throwing names in the hats. I've been trying to educate people about how the system works. I've been trying to talk to people about what's going on in their districts, not just my district, because I am so nomadic, because I literally live between here and Mexico and DC. Like, I literally am in a space where I can't afford to just talk about one thing, because my life is affected by so many different places because I occupy so many places. And so not only is a lot of my political stuff not just centered to one place, like a lot of advocates and activists who do political work specifically right now, but a lot of my work is super educational with a point to tell you about what to do in your specific place to navigate the issues that we're currently facing. And I find that those videos do not get traction like that for real. If I'm not talking about somebody, if I'm not reading somebody for Phil, if I'm not going at Marjorie Taylor Greene or Nancy Mace, or if I'm not talking shit about Trump, people don't pay attention. So if y'all want to support me, make sure that y'all always engage with my stuff from the top down. If you're if you're on Instagram, or if you're on TikTok, or if you're on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribing, make sure that you're sharing. And I just recently got a Substack. I'm not sure, because I'm new to this whole thing. TikTok, I know that y'all don't have it because I could not add y'all to my StreamYard, but I now have a Substack. Make sure that y'all go ahead and y'all follow that. It's hopegiselle.substack.com. If you are on Instagram, I'm hoping that this is showing up properly. And if you're on YouTube, I'm hoping that this is showing up properly. But there should be a QR code up there in the corner that lets you know how to subscribe to my Substack. Can somebody let me know if that's showing on you all's end? Because I'm not sure what y'all can see. And I just want to get better at making sure that I'm talking to all of my audiences at one time versus just talking to one of my audiences at a time, because I tend to get burnt out trying to have the conversation over and over and over again on different platforms. And so this was my attempt at trying to have the same conversation once with all of my audiences. And so can y'all see the QR code on Instagram? Okay, perfect. So Ray says I'm on Instagram and I can see it. Awesome. And then on YouTube, is it showing? Okay, it's showing on YouTube. So awesome. So if you're looking for ways to support me, support my Substack, because that's where I'm going to be putting out a lot of my academic and intellectual content, because it seems like people like to read a lot more. And if you are here, if you are on my socials that are more video based, then I would love for y'all to work it from the top down, like, comment, and make sure that you do a reshare. All of those things are free. And if you know me, even if you don't have anything super, super like helpful to say about the video, leave a sunflower so that way the Instagram and the algorithm and all of that stuff knows that people are at least willing to engage with my videos, even if you don't have something to say. And if you do have something to say and you have the time to take interest in it, write that comment, because those things are going to help to boost us in spaces where y'all are not seeing us. I know that a lot of people, again, like to ask why trans people and why Black trans women are not in certain spaces. And it's because y'all are loving our content, y'all are liking our content, but y'all are not engaging with our content. And so a lot of the time we get swept under the rug and we miss opportunities to work with these people and to bring the trans voice, specifically the Black trans voice, into a lot of these spaces, because again, they are not seeing that people care about Black trans women who talk about politics. They see that people care about Black trans women who talk about beauty. They see that they care about people that y'all care about Black trans women who talk about mess. But when it comes down to Black trans women who are actually out here trying to do education work, that's not going for a couple of dollars. And that's the reason why y'all are not going to see us in those spaces. But if y'all want to see us in those spaces to help make change, this is not even just about me. There's a lot of girls that I don't like, but at the end of the day, they're doing work. Raquel Willis is doing work. Make sure you're sharing her shit. Angelica Ross is doing work. Make sure you're sharing her shit. Mariah Moore is doing work. Ciora Thomas is doing work. Monroe Alice is out here killing it. Make sure y'all are watching The Shy. My girl is going to be in The Shy. Okay, yet again. Who else is out here like really killing it? Lala is out here fucking it up. Giovanna in New York is out here doing the ones and twos. I'm still going to give it up for the Black Trans Travel Fund, who is actually out here doing a book drive. So if you are a queer or a TGNC person and you have books, make sure y'all hit up the Black Trans Travel Fund and y'all send them over those books so that they can make sure that people get those books for free and that they don't have to charge people to read. Reading should not be something that people have to, pay for. And I think that a lot of us are missing it because we don't often have access. So even if you don't like me and you're hate watching this and you're like, fuck that bitch, I only watch you so I can talk shit about you, there are other organizations and there are other people that you could be supporting, okay, and that you could be following. And if you all need or if you all want access to these people, there is a link that's in my bio that is tagged like trans resources. It's a little bit outdated, but I'm definitely going to update it and I'll give you all some more. But a lot of those organizations that I did name are still active, and their Instagrams and their socials and stuff are still in that link that is in my bio. And I'm going to update it because I want to make sure that you all not only know how to support me, but how to support other people that are doing the work and making things shake and getting stuff done. But I also just want to make sure that y'all know and understand that this work only gets done and this work only moves if people stop trying to count pockets and count wardrobes and really start counting where it matters, which is the information that you are getting from these people. I don't care if my political influencer is Gucci down to the socks. As long as the information that they're giving me is something that I could use and it's not coming from a source that is not verifiable. As long as my person, as long as the influencer or the political activist or the advocate that I am following is giving out information that is accurate and reputable from an academic journal or from a reputable news source, I don't give a shit that that person got 15,000 Chanel bags in their closet. Are you going to steer me or lead me astray? No, then I am absolutely fine with however you spend your money that you've made doing your soul work, because I can't dictate to you how to spend your earnings from the flowers that you have received because you deserve them for doing the research that I did not want to do. And I think that that's another thing that I want to have you all truly understand. A lot of you all are so horrible about judging people about what they don't do and what they don't talk about. But a lot of y'all don't even have the balls to get up out of your own beds and do half of the work that we do. So I really need y'all to stop beating down on people if the only legwork that you do is getting up to go to the one job that you have. When so many of us have a 9-to-5 lives outside of this, and then we also still have to turn around and deal with the backlash on social media. And nobody actually turns around and gives a fuck about that part of the social media because y'all don't see us as humans. Y'all see us as commodified individuals who have turned ourselves into brands for the sake of being at your mercy, whether that is positive or negative. And those things are just not true. So when we talk about what it means to help and support people, it means actually showing up and helping and supporting people, even when they are not talking about the things that you think are predominantly important in that particular moment, because everybody has the right to decide how they want to show up in the space, and doing so responsibly is how we continue to make sure that people are not out here spreading misinformation. You can make sure that everybody named Mama is talking about it, but that don't mean that they're going to be giving out good information. So I would rather I would rather have influencers that are conscious of their boundaries and where they, where the buck stops with them, than to have influencers that are constantly trying to appease everybody and saying the wrong things, because that just doesn't work. So, this is just like my little TED talk, because I wanted to come and just make sure that everybody understood that there's so much going on out here in the world, and trying to beat up on people because they are trying to thrive through this shit and not look like what they have been through is not where we should be focusing our attention. Now, if that's where you choose to focus your attention, I can't tell you what to do. I just don't think that it's a smart use. That's it. That's it, and that's all. That is it, and that is all. Now, what I also do want to talk about before I hop up out of here, because a lot of you all have been discussing it, is this thing that's going on with Kevin Hart. A friend of mine hit me up yesterday and was asking me how I felt about the Kevin Hart situation. And I want to let y'all know a couple of things. Kevin Hart has shown us who he is and who he gonna be 1,001 times. And I have stopped and had already stopped dealing with Kevin Hart a while ago when he did that whole situation with the son and the dollhouse and the head and all of that bull stuff. Because in that moment, when Kevin Hart pissed off the queer community, I want to say in a larger fact, and I know that a lot of you white queer people hate it when I do this, but it is a race thing. When Kevin Hart did that, he affected the Black queer community. No tea, no shade. Everybody was affected. Everybody who is queer has the right to be offended. But the people who he really, really hurt with that commentary was not white queer people. The people who he really affected and hurt with that commentary were Black queer people. And specifically at that time, Black trans women took a bulk of that brunt, because people are starting to be a little bit more accepting of gay Black men. But when it comes down to it, when he made that commentary, a lot of people immediately jumped into the trans conversation, as they tend to do with a lot of this stuff. And do you not know that this motherfucker had the nerve to take his ass onto the Ellen DeGeneres show, of all of the fucking shows that he could have taken his ass onto, and let a white woman tell him that it was okay for him to let this entire thing go because as a lesbian woman, she forgave him? You're a lesbian white woman, bitch. And you're an evil lesbian white woman at that, from what I gather from all of the things that have come out since that fucking show has been off the air. But at the end of the day, as a Black man, Kevin Hart, you did not sit down with the Black community. You did not sit. I would have preferred you go your ass to the Breakfast Club. And I hate that I'm even saying that. But the fact that Kevin Hart sat down with a white woman from the white community who happened to be a lesbian and let that white woman tell him that the transgressions that he caused and all of the discomfort that he caused to Black queer people was okay, will never sit right with me. So I've been said, fuck that little midget. Okay. Oh, I've been said, fuck that little person. I'm so sorry. But outside of that, now we turn around and we find out that he's out here bandstanding, booty clapping, and dick sucking for the people who had all this stuff to say. You know, the people who had all of this stuff to say about the people who had all of this stuff to say about George Floyd, right? And one of the things that I think is very interesting is that y'all thought that Kevin was gonna be above the laughter. Y'all thought that Kevin was really gonna check something. Y'all really thought that Kevin was gonna open his mouth and say something. Kevin can't even stand up for his own self most of the time. Kevin likes to sit back and throw the rock and hide the hand. Kevin wants to be the guy that I think Dave Chappelle thought that he was up until a couple of days ago. And, you know, when that whole scandal with him happened, and we got to circle back to that as well if we're going to talk about this particular topic. But since we on Kevin right now and right this second, let's finish that particular part of the conversation first. Kevin really thought that he was going to be able to capitalize off of the fact that these people were just being funny. And this goes back all the way to that first special with Dave Chappelle. Y'all see how I wrote that in almost immediately? This goes back to that first special with Dave Chappelle, where Dave Chappelle kept trying to lean on the fact that this was all just jokes. Oh, it's all just jokes. I love the trans community. I just think that this is all just jokes and it's just funny. There was an epidemic after that entire debacle where there were so many people coming up with these jokes and saying that they were all just jokes and that people were able to just laugh about it and that we should all be able to just laugh about certain things. And now, under that same guise, because Kevin Hart was one of those people that it was all just jokes, is going to sit up there and try to justify his laughter with the fact that it was just a joke and that there were so many other things that were said that evening that were so distasteful. For instance, he's probably going to turn around when he does make his public statement and talk about how many people got up on that stage and said egregious and disrespectful things to and about him. But let me tell you something, Kevin Hart, it was a roast about you. You agreed and you signed up to be roasted. You agreed and you signed up for people to say disgusting and horrible things about you in the name of comedy. George Floyd's family did not agree to have his legacy made fun of at the expense of you and your friends being able to laugh on that stage. And the fact of the matter is, you got on that stage and you laughed at a joke about this man who had been unalived by the police wrongfully. And the last couple of words that we heard from this man were, "I can't breathe." And then you let a white, known racist man turn around, okay? You let a white, known racist man turn around and use that as a punchline while you, as a Black man in America, laughed at it. You are a despicable, disgusting little human being who I think has no backbone, no spine, and you're doing everything possible to hold on to the modicum of fame that you have left, because it is no longer commendable to us for us to laugh at you for simply being a small man. And outside of being a small man with a scratchy voice, you have nothing. And that is why Cat Williams can't stand you. That beef is not buried. I want you to know that Cat is going to always and forever have your name on a voodoo doll somewhere in his closet, poking it at night just to piss you off. Because at the end of the day, when a person is a true comedian, when a person is true to their craft, as Cat Williams said during the whole debacle with Dave Chappelle, if I'm a goat, I don't need to use things that people have already told me are offensive as jokes and as material. If I'm funny, I can be funny about anything. If I'm a hilarious figure, if I'm a hilarious man, I can be hilarious about anything. I could joke about a broom being in the corner in the room because that is what I do. And Kevin Hart, you can't do that, because outside of using yourself as the punchline and or using things that are egregious as the punchline and or weaponizing things that you know are controversial as the punchline, you have nothing. And I really hate the fact that a lot of you all bought into, believe, and have allowed this man to make y'all think that he is funny, and therefore have put him in a position where this is even a conversation. Okay, I hate that y'all have even putting this man into a position where this is even a conversation, because if he was not famous, we wouldn't be talking about this. But the sad fact of the matter is, y'all done made him famous, and so here we are, and here we have to talk about all of the things that happened. And I just think that at the end of the day, Kevin Hart is a coon. He's going to forever and always be a coon, and he's never going to learn his lesson until he hits rock bottom. And by the time he hits rock bottom and gives us that fake ass apology, if any of y'all actually accept that apology the first time around, I'm gonna beat y'all up. I need 2 apologies from Kevin Hart. I need the initial apology when you fall from grace and you have to do little rinky-dink Chitlin circuit tours in Miami, going all the way up through Jacksonville. When Kevin Hart has to do those, then I'm gonna wait for the second apology after the tour is over and he realizes that he got to sell one of his homes. After he sold that first home, and then he apologized again, I'll accept the second apology. Any apology that he gives right now while he's still rolling in whatever coins that he has left over from residuals, I'm not accepting, because that man is just trying to get us to shut up. He's not actually trying to make change. He's not actually trying to do anything different. He just wants us to be quiet about the things that he's already done. And I, for one, am not going to be quiet about you being an ass. But that's just my 2 cents. So there, like there's that. That's just how I feel about the entire Kevin Hart situation and all of that jazz. I'm trying to remember what else that y'all asked me to talk about. There was something else that y'all were asking me about, and I just decided that today was going to be the day that I got on here and I used all of my new knickknacks and paddywhacks. But I know somebody gonna drop a comment about something that they want me to talk about. But before I do that, do y'all like my new setup? I don't know what it looks like yet. I'm not gonna be able to see what it looks like until I go back and watch this when it's over. But do y'all like it? Do it look cute? Y'all tell me, y'all like it? Is it cute on the Instagrams, on the Facebooks? Is it cute? Is she giving? Is she giving? I don't know. I feel like I like her. I'm getting like previews and stuff, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I'm trying to upgrade for y'all. I'm trying to do a little thing. I'm trying to keep up with the kids. Because officially I'm an auntie. My baby sister's birthday is today, and I'm actually writing an article about it as a Black trans woman, how the relationship with my youngest sister has really healed a lot of me as it pertains to being a woman. There is so much of the relationship that I have with my youngest sister that has really informed my womanhood. There's so much of that relationship um that has really helped me to cultivate the way that I show up in the world. And I was just sitting here thinking about the fact that there are a lot of trans women who don't get to experience sisterhood through their biological sisters for one reason or another. And I'm so lucky and grateful that for the most part I have a really good relationship with all of my sisters. I do know that I have two sisters on my father's side who I have a really, tricky relationship with, but I don't think that it's a bad relationship. It's just a lot of moving pieces around that. But as a Black trans woman, to have my baby sister call me on Mother's Day and tell me Happy Mother's Day was something, and it does something for my confidence. It does something for my just my overall like oomph as a big sister. I feel like it takes a lot for a little sister to love you enough to like see you as another extension of a parent to them. And the fact that my little sister sees that in me is something that's really beautiful. And I just kind of wanted to share that with you all. So I will have a Substack article out on that. I started writing the piece last night when I was crying because I was getting ready to type up her birthday message. But I have not finished it just yet. And I'm gonna have to like start recording and filming when I get up of here with y'all doing this Get Ready With Me. So I'm not sure when y'all will get it or if it'll be today or tomorrow. Let me say that. I know y'all will get it between today and tomorrow. I'm just not sure if it'll be today or tomorrow. But when I do write it, if you are subscribed to my Substack, which y'all use, look here, screenshot the screen, and then y'all know how to do it. If you got an iPhone, and for all of my older hopefuls out there, if y'all don't know how to do it, go get one of them grandbabies or them nieces or them nephews and tell them, hey, how do I get on Hope Substack? Because that's gonna be where I put most of this stuff. Okay. So yeah, y'all make sure you all do that because yeah. I, however, do think that I'm gonna go ahead and end the live here, at least for the YouTube and the Instagrams, because I don't know, but also I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could just do like ending it for one. I'm not even sure if I could do ending it just for one of them. But if I could, I would kick y'all off. But I just feel like I'm gonna take a little bit longer to do my makeup, and I don't know if y'all want to like. I'm done with the talk, so now I'm just gonna be chilling and talking shit. And I'm not sure if y'all actually want to hear that. I know my Instagram people. Um, I'm an Android queen. Is it available there? If you just screenshot the screen and then the QR code that's in the corner, I believe that y'all can still do it on y'all phone. I just don't know how Android people do it, but I know on Apple, like if you just screenshot it, you can do the one too. Free Princess Bank says, can you please reach out to me? I'm probably gonna forget, Princess. I'm probably going to forget. I'm not going to even hold you and act like I have space to remember. I'm probably going to forget. If there is so people who want to, here's the thing, because some of y'all have been abusing this. Let me say this too. You can book me. My Calendly is in my link tree. Okay. But here's the deal. Do not book me for something that you have to pay for and book a free session. Don't book me for an hour or 30 minutes of my time knowing that you are finna ask me 50,011 questions about how to level up your shit and not book it as a consult. Okay, if you are booking with me to ask me all of these like super layered questions about business, about activism, about all of the things, that is a consultation. You have to pay for that. Also, Do not book me to tell me that you love me. Don't book me to tell me what your life story is unless you're going to pay for it for that hour. But I have had so many people that I have had to feel really bad about because I've had to either stop you in the middle of your point because I am not here to just listen to your problems, or I've had to literally decline the message because some of y'all have sent a thing. I was feeling good one day and I gave you a freebie, and then you came back and thought it was going to be a regular session. You do not get to book time on my calendar to talk to me about nothing. And you don't get to book it for free if you are trying to book time with me to ask me about issues. You only book time with me for free if I've set up a meeting with you, or if I told you to go ahead and do this thing so that we could continue this conversation. And that's only if you know the conversation is not about like us doing work, or if you're not going to benefit, or if you're not trying to benefit off of this. I can't stand the fact that like some of y'all are really abusing my book me. I'm about to take the free options off of there so that way, if you're not willing to pay, you just can't even book no more, because some of y'all get on that calendar and I look at the synopsis of what you want to talk about, and I'll be like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm not your therapist, boo. um, I'm wrongfully incarcerated and I need your assistance. I'm not asking for any funding. Prentice, that is not my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is connecting you with the people. And so one of the things that I know that you can do is reach out. Well, it would depend. So, Princess, if you send me a DM, what I can do is I can hook you up with the people who I know do incarceration work. But I don't do incarceration work. A lot of my work is around philanthropy, funding, and making sure that you are connected with the proper people within districts, and all of that jazz. I don't really deal with incarceration work because I don't typically understand a lot of the things that go into it. And again, I am not passionate about incarceration work. So that's just not me. I will name if a person has been wrongfully incarcerated, but if you notice, I typically will say things like, you should talk to the folks over at SNAPCO who are making sure that bail funding is being created, or you should talk to the people at the ACLU, or you should or you should head over to the people over at the Transgender Law Center who are going to be more inept to help you, or capable of helping you, I'm sorry, with those issues. That's just not my wheelhouse. A lot of my wheelhouse is specifically social justice. And then for those parts of it, I have people that I work with or people that I send folks out to, but I do not directly, and I cannot directly, because that is just not the thing that I do, right? Connect you with any ways to help out with that. I love your work. How's your MSW journey going? Child, it is going actually really well, but it's going slow because money is funny and change is strange. So my first semester, I did really well. I passed it with a B. It would have been an A, except for my professor was tripping. She was tripping like shit. Okay, she was tripping because it was one assignment, and she really tried to play with the whole class because she was the one that was late, and then she tried to tell all of us that we was late. And I was like, girl, you got us fucked up. And the whole class complained about it, but she was like, no, because she just didn't want to admit that she was wrong. So I was kind of upset with her because, girl, I was supposed to get an A. I was supposed to get an A. And I just feel like on my first journey back into a master's program, the one thing that I was not expecting was to get a B on my first semester, and she played, and she really worked my motherfucking spirit. That's what she really did. Thank you for giving me space to talk about that. But my MSW journey is going good. My MSW journey is going good. It's going good or whatever. You know, but she really played in my face. I ain't like that. I really, in case y'all couldn't tell, I ain't like that. I ain't like that. She really pissed me off. But it's going good. My plan and my goal is to start back up my second semester once the fall hits, because I'm really busy like the spring and the summer, just because you got Pride and the year is kicking up and everybody's budget is full, so everybody want to book somebody for a thing. And so during the top of the year, I'm just not really good with being able to focus, because I'm on a plane. Like literally, I'm going to be in 3 different cities this weekend alone. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, at the end of the year or towards the fall semester, that always works better for me because I'm usually sitting down for longer periods during the fall semester. I still travel during the fall semester, but it's just nowhere near as much as I travel during the spring and the summer. So thank you so much for asking about it. Glad to hear it. We need more therapists. Absolutely, because I'm definitely going to be opening up my own private practice, and I'm definitely going to be licensed. uh, and I guess we don't have to call her doctor no more because we found out that was bullshit. So Cheyenne Bryant, yeah, no, I will be joining the crew of licensed medical professionals who are out here giving out medical advice to people on podcasts. That is my goal. I was thinking about also doing the PhD program, but I'm hearing from a lot of my PhD friends that it's really just not as necessary as they would have us believe that it is. And so I'm trying to also decide what I want to do after I finish my master's program. But yeah, what I do know is that I will be a licensed medical professional when I am done. Um, because that's important too. Like, we do need more people out here doing the work, but they need to be licensed. The people that we have out here that we're trusting with our minds, and our head space, those people need to be licensed, Cheyenne. They need to be licensed. And so, just between us Goyles, okay, between us Goyles and squirrel friends, I seek to be a licensed therapist out here in these streets. God damn it. Yes, birthday twin, we need more therapists. Yes. What are we doing for our birthday, boo? Because it's Leo season officially for me. This is pre-Leo season. I know that y'all are like, Hope, it's May. It's pre-Leo season. I just need y'all to know. Leos spend about 3 months before the birthday getting ready for the birthday. I am the birthday. And just in case you're new here, and because I know that I done leveled up on my followers and things like that. Just in case y'all are new here, the month of August, y'all are not going to be getting a lot of social activism posts. You're going to be getting a lot of Hope slaying on the beach posts and a lot of Hope just going to be slaying, because August, the entire month, is my birthday. It's not just the second. My birthday is on the second, but August, the whole month, is my birthday. Okay. And any Leo that you know, okay, any of the Leos that you know, that's typically how we celebrate our birthday. So I'm just saying, if you are here because you love my activism work, or you love my reads, or you enjoy my HIV content, prepare yourself for August to be following somebody else, unless you are ready to see me slay, because that's all that's going to be happening in August. That is literally all I'm going to be doing in August, and all of the things. And this is the reason why I don't be doing makeup tutorials and stuff. Because y'all, the way I am talking, I would have been finished my makeup if I was not on here doing it. But I hope that y'all are enjoying the view at the very least. Because I would have been done with my makeup. I'm going to be celebrating being a member of Alpha Sigma Lambda. Okay, come on. Come on. It's Hope season. Yeah, right. Leo season ain't even Leo season. It's Hope season. Also, I'm going to be outside. Come on, Stewie. You better be outside. All of the Leos are going to be outside. I'm just saying, and this summer is an outside summer. I'm just saying this summer feel real outside-ish. Like, this summer feel real outside-ish. Like, I'm going to be outside. I'm going to Everyday People in LA on Sunday, taking a little trip. I'm gonna take a little trip down to LA, and I'm gonna go to Everyday People on Sunday. Oh, also, hey DeJorn over there on TikTok. My brother gave me an award for philanthropy. I did have for the sent it, but you sent it when I was on my 7-day hiatus, so I did not respond. And then I went back and I saw it again, but then I got busy, so I did not respond. But DeJorn, I want you to know that I am very grateful, and I thank you so much for the award and the honor. And I appreciate you. I just didn't respond because it was all the wrong times to respond. And then I got busy, and then I had forgot. But I didn't forget that you gave it to me. I just forgot to respond and tell you that I was thankful for you giving it to me. And so now I'm responding in front of all of the people. So thank you, DeJorn. But beyond that, let me see. Yes, Everyday People. Yeah, I just came back. What's happening in August? In August is my birthday. That's what's happening in August. Late to the lab. I'm another Leo here. Come on, Leo gang, 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 gang. I love it when people show up late and they hear something that they like and it makes them stay, because Leos, like, that's it. Like, you didn't miss nothing, boo. Just Leos being Leos. That's it. You ain't even missed nothing, babes. It's you popped in at the right time. It's just us being us. Just us being great, helping the people out with the things. Just Leos being Leos. That's it. That's all. That's it, and that's all. Just Leos being Leos out here in these streets. Yes, sir. Yeah. where did the badge option go in here? That's how I financially support you. The badge option is only available if I go live from Instagram specifically, but I am using StreamYard so that I can simultaneously, this live that you are watching on Instagram right now is also live on Facebook and YouTube. And because it's live on both Facebook and YouTube, the feature for badges is turned off, Angel. So I'm so sorry. But for those of you all who are in America, the United States, because I know somebody's gonna say, well, there's a screen. Wait, also, can y'all see the little scrolling moniker on Instagram? Can y'all see that? Can y'all see the scrolling thing on YouTube? Can y'all see that? I'm so sorry, TikTok. It's not scrolling down there for y'all. But for those of you all who are in the US, y'all can support financially by sending things to my Cash App or my Venmo. I'm working on trying to figure out what Canada can do. I think it's really like a PayPal thing. I think I'm gonna have to figure out like how to do PayPal or whatever for my Canadian people. So before y'all start getting on Angel about why she doesn't just do Cash App, it's because all of my friends and all of my followers are not in the US. I know some of y'all can't relate. But I have followers everywhere. Like I got followers in Bali. I got followers in like Brazil. I have followers in like Egypt, which is so interesting to me. I have followers in Johannesburg. I have followers like everywhere. So like I have like followers like a lot of places, and not everybody is in America. So chill your fucking tits, because not everybody can use Cash App and Venmo. Okay. So calm down. Do not get on my friends, because yeah. We are all e-trans folks, and see, that's so dope that I didn't even know that you were from Canada, Tara. See, TikTok. I got people in TikTok going from all, what y'all at in TikTok? I want to know where the TikTok people at. And Mr. John said that it's showing on, okay, period. But yeah, I need to know where the people be at, because I got people in Canada and all of the things, and I didn't realize this wasn't a thing in the US. That is so funny. That is so funny. Walked in. I'm sorry. I missed your message to me. Oh my God, Princess, just send me a message so I can connect you with the people who are more likely to be able to help you with the situation, because I'm not the best person to do in-house jail reform. So that was what I was saying. But just send me a message. Because if you don't, I'm gonna forget. But if you send me a message, I will respond to you with the resources that I think that you need. Oh my God, King Daily Push, I love you. And I'm so upset about that thing that you're doing right now, because I wanted to do the other thing, and you know what I'm talking about. But it's okay, because I'm still happy for the thing that you're doing. I'm just jealous about the thing that you're doing, because you already know. But like, I'm just jealous because, oh my God. But I'm happy because, oh my God. But I'm still jealous because, oh my God. And don't y'all be in our business. Y'all don't need to know what we talking about. Y'all don't need to know about what I'm talking about. Y'all don't need to know nothing. Y'all just need to know that King Daily Pushes my baby daddy. That's all y'all need to know. Okay. But yeah. I am having I think we still got our thing. I'm crying. But one of the things that I've been really, really excited. I'm going to a pre-screening tonight of the movie Is God Is, with Vivica A. Fox, Janelle Monáe, Erica Alexander, all of the people. I'm going to do that tonight. And I am getting ready like hella early about it. I was curious about the artwork too. I have a lot of artwork. It's from all over the world. This one is from a local Houston artist. He actually reached out to me recently. I bought this from him a couple of years back. These masks are actually authentic masks that came from Nigeria. My husband's father, when he passed away, we took a lot of his authentic African art. This painting up here also came from his father's home. It is another authentic Nigerian piece. If you are on YouTube and you can actually see the larger painting over here, one of my friends gave this to me. I believe that this one came from Cuba, and he gave it to me because he said that it reminded him of me. And so it's supposed to be like not a self-portrait, but a portrait of me. And then on the floor on the side of me, I know that y'all on Instagram can't see it, but this is a poster of Doechii from the concert that I went to, where I got on stage and she signed my vinyl. And then I have my Webby Award and my BET Black and Iconic Award, and then also another award that I got from the Center for Black Equity. So I love art in my house. I love like keeping art corners, and I love, obviously, this is a blackity black household. And so all of my art is typically authentic Black artists. And I'm not gonna say I don't buy a cute Target piece, now and then, but I try to do my best to make sure that all of the art that you're going to see, um, in my home or around my home is all of the things. Yes, Hope, everything that King Daddy Push said. What my baby daddy said? I thought he was just, oh, I just want to give you your flowers, Hope. You are truly a pioneer in our community. And if you don't hear enough, we love you, we see you, and we need you. And can't you just know what to say. You just know what to say. Like, oh my God. Like, y'all better not. Like, y'all stop. Okay. Y'all just stop. Y'all, what it is y'all trying to get me to do these more often. That's what it is. That's what it is. I gotta make a painting for you. You better make a painting for me. Look here, I love it when the friends and the peoples make paintings for me. Trust me, it's gonna end up in the house. Now, don't be making a painting for me because you trying to get your painting on the wall, okay? Because my setup is my setup. Now, if it's a fire painting, you might just replace somebody. But don't be trying to make a painting for me because you're trying to get your setup on the wall, because it's not guaranteed to be on the wall. It'll be in the house somewhere, right? But it might not end up on the wall. So don't be doing it and then be mad like, oh, I thought my painting was gonna be on the wall. It is on the wall in my foyer. You are a pioneer and making such headway for our community. We need you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, especially because I think that I'm finally in a season where I can accept that. I was actually texting one of my friends right before I got on live, and we were both talking about compliments because I gave him a compliment, and he was just like, "Oh my God," all of the things. And he was like, I really suck at being able to accept compliments. I get so awkward, and I kind of just like stand there, and it's a whole thing. And I was talking to him about how oftentimes I really struggle with accepting compliments because as a Black trans woman, a lot of people's compliments to us are not genuine. Even when a person is looking at a Black trans woman or a trans woman in general in her face and saying something that is, appears to be sweet, like, oh my God, girl, you so beautiful. A lot of the time they're doing that as a passive aggressive notion. And so as a trans woman, I have built up this, third skin. Thank y'all so much, BTFA. I built up a little bit of a third skin around accepting compliments from anybody, but especially as it pertains to like my looks or anything like that. And I know that the compliments that we're talking about specifically here have nothing to really do with appearance, but since we are talking about like compliments in this particular moment, I did want to just flag that like oftentimes people have reasons for why compliments don't land or why they're awkward around compliments. And it was just a really dope conversation that I loved that him and I were able to have, because we had that conversation. And he's a cis guy, he's a Black cis man. And, he's just like, yeah, like I don't really oftentimes get compliments. And so when people give them to me, I'm a little skeptical at first too, because I'm just like, I feel like you're just saying something because that like men don't get compliments. And I thought that was a really dope way that as a Black trans woman and as a Black cis man, that he was able to find common ground with me, and we were able to find common ground with one another to have a conversation about what it really looks like when we see each other as human beings and we love on each other, despite what people say that we should be doing. And I just thought that was a really dope way for us to, carry that out. And so whenever y'all give me compliments and things like that, I don't ever want y'all to believe that like I'm not in it, that like I don't, appreciate it. But sometimes it's just really tough and difficult, because I will also say that on the antithesis of that, or on the other side of that, There are some times where I'm getting so many compliments that like all I can really do is just say like thank you and move on, because I've already like given people 50,000 smiles, and I've already given people, 50,000 handholds. And so sometimes I think that people will mistake um my nervousness or my fatigue around like smiling and saying thank you as disrespect. So it's another thing too, like when you're a person who does get a lot of compliments, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, and it's just a lot. And so I think that that one applies more to like my activism and things, where a lot of the time, especially lately and especially after this tour, I've noticed that I am getting so much love, and I appreciate the love. And I've been able to revel in the love. And I think I've needed it. I think I've really just needed people to pour into me and love on me. Um, and just remind me that the world does not hate me, because sometimes these bitches out here in the streets will make you think. I'm just kidding. But but I am so grateful, I think sometimes, for the fact that there are people who are willing to kind of like remind me and sit with me on the fact that like, girl, you have been moving and shaking and you've been doing things, and those things are valuable to us and we love you for them. But baby, when I'm, doing a thing like during the tour, when it was 50 million of y'all saying it in a row, when it's a line of people gathered up to tell you, oh my God, you're so great, like it can be intimidating sometimes. Okay. Let me tell y'all something. When it comes to my brows, baby, when it comes to my brows, one thing we're not gonna do is mess them up. We're not gonna mess up a brow. Alrighty. Oh, thank you so much, Free Spirit, over there on the YouTubes. Over there on the YouTubes. Thank you so much, boo. YouTube don't. You know what's so funny is that I be thinking that my YouTube like hopefuls don't care. And baby, I started posting my stuff over there, and them YouTube hopefuls was like, "Bitch, why you don't be posting?" Them YouTube hopefuls was in my ass. So I'm gonna start posting on the YouTube a little bit more. Cause baby, the YouTube hopefuls was like, you just be neglecting us. We are the redheaded stepchildren of your social media. Like we be seeing you everywhere else but over here. And it's true, because I don't really YouTube is so demanding, y'all. But I think also now that I have me a little setup, I feel better. Cause YouTube, I'm competing with a lot of people over there. YouTube is a different beast. YouTube got people with whole studio setups and lighting setups and commercial backing, and you got motherfuckers that on YouTube that got a lot with YouTube, and child, it's so much stuff. Sending hi for hi. Um, but yeah, I am I think I'm super grateful and super excited that one of the things that I don't want to say complaining about, but I think one of the things that I was most worried about, and one of the things that I think I was having so much trouble, and struggling through and struggling with, was my confidence around whether or not what I was doing for community was being received as something that I was doing for community. And the way that y'all showed up and showed out on this tour to remind me, and the way that y'all have been continuously showing up and showing out after this tour, to remind me of the importance that I hold for a lot of you and with a lot of you, has been absolutely beautiful. So I just want to thank y'all. I want to thank y'all so much for that. Um, and I'm not really sure what this will turn into. I know that y'all be liking to hear my thoughts and my opinions about the things. But I'm seeing so many like of these celebrities like Don Lemon and Joanne Reed, and everybody is doing a daily show. And I'm just like, I want to do like a weekly recap. I don't know if I want to do a daily show. Like I think I would love to do a I feel like I would love to do like a weekly recap once a week with y'all. to talk through, like, the stuff that happened during the week. I don't know. And we could use this format. But I know that y'all love my get ready with me's, because every time I do these, y'all are like, you should bring these back and you should do these more regularly and X, Y, and Z. And I just don't think y'all understand how busy my schedule is sometimes. And I'm not always gonna be at home. Like, I know a lot of y'all are like, but so and so be doing it. That's the difference between, yet again, being an influencer and a person with influence. Influencers wake up and all of their stuff is at their crib because that's how they make their money. I don't make all of my money from being at my crib. I make more money when I leave my crib than I do sitting here in front of this computer, or than I do sitting in front of my phone. The videos and the things that you all see and the way that I like navigate social media is to get me in the rooms where I make my actual money. And so it's really difficult to keep up the social media, like some of the social media parts that I really want to keep up, because I'm not home long enough to actually like create it the way that I want to. Like, if I'm going to be doing stuff like this, I want to do stuff like this with this type of quality. Like, I want to continue to like make this content, but I want to continue to make this content and grow. Like, this little corner, this little nook, I want to, the lighting is going to change in here. It's going to get better. It's like like, I just want you all to see the elevation of this space. And there are certain things that I only want to do if it looks professional. And that's a part of the reason why I think a lot of the more candid stuff that y'all like to see, I don't do it often because I'm just weird about the quality of things. And so that's why I put stuff on Patreon that like is not perfect. It's just like me talking, or it's me, expressing my thoughts. So if you're on my Patreon, like I kind of give y'all like behind the scenes stuff, or I say the things that I can't really say on my main social media. So I go over to my Patreon and I kind of just like let it all rip over there. But I just feel like if something is going to be on my main platform, like I tell people all the time, my main platform is an audition for the thing that I want to do with my life. And I'm going to keep auditioning until somebody calls me and makes me an offer with the thing, or I'm going to keep auditioning until I decide to do the thing for myself. And that thing starts to create, a lucrative space where I can then do the other stuff that I want to do, like pour more time and energy into my nonprofit, Allow Me, and pour more time and energy into scholarships and things like that. Can't imagine how much mental and emotional space your job takes up. It does. I think that having to think about constantly who's dying, who's this, what laws, this law, that law, HIV, blah 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 blah, who needs money, who needs this, who's in jail, like it can be a lot. It can be a lot. And I think that the thing about it that's even more like pressing to me and stresses me out is the fact that there are people who don't want to acknowledge that it can be a lot, and that oftentimes it is a lot. But we make it shake by any means. This is just a little bit of Vaseline, you all. For those of you all who don't know the trick behind having like that wet look to the eye and giving it like a little bit of a sheen, I do a little bit of Vaseline, and all that does is just wake up that oily look, that little wet, slick, oily look, and voila. Once the oily look is there, it has like that beautiful, like natural shine on the lid, and it really opens things up and gives the face like that, like dewy sort of moment. So if y'all have ever seen me out here and it looks like I'm just like glowing from all of the spaces, including my eyelids, I'm usually wearing either lip gloss or Vaseline. Lip gloss to me does it a little bit better because I use the wand and I just place it on my eyes and I blend it out really well. But if you don't have any lip gloss on hand that you want to use, you could definitely always use a little bit of Vaseline. And right there, it just opens up the face and opens up the eyes and keeps everything real cute. Um, I cannot wait to see the playback on these videos to make sure that the quality is looking like what I need it to look like. Because the one for Instagram, like at least on the computer, I don't know, the quality just like the quality is there on the StreamYard side. Like on the StreamYard side, the quality is fire. But then on the computer, it's looking real like, I don't know. On the computer, it's just not looking as, you know, I don't know. Like on a computer, it's just not looking as. You know, it's just not looking as on the computer, you know. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll get through the hunches and bunches of it all. But I'm really, really excited about continuing to go on this journey with you all. Especially as I continue to try to figure out what I'm doing with my socials and all of that jazz. Uh, let me see. I've been on live for like an hour and 30 minutes. I'm almost done though. Finally, I'm actually almost done. Um, oh, hola, Laudis. Oh, ¿qué pasa, mami? But yeah, I absolutely love this mascara too, by the way. Now that I think everybody who cares about the issues are gone. Now that the people who care about the issues are gone, child, this mascara is fire. This mascara is so good. This is so good. This is the Fenty mascara, by the way. And it's so, so good. But this is a test of the broadcast system. So now that I know that this works, I'm gonna go over to Facebook too and make sure that it works the way that I want it to work. I think that what I'm gonna use this for is more so of like a show format. I'll do get ready with me's and stuff occasionally, and I'll probably keep that more for the YouTube audience because I feel like YouTube is like a place where, you know, folks kind of expect it to be a little unhinged and a little like, you know, messy and you know, she talking through a bunch of different things. Whereas I feel like I've curated a huge audience of structure on my Facebook and my Instagram. So I think for TikTok, um, for my TikTok and my YouTube, I'll probably, you know, keep this format. Um, for my TikTok and my YouTube, I'll probably keep this format, but I definitely believe. Dang, somebody had to get muted on TikTok. Who got muted on TikTok? What y'all was over here saying? God, y'all gotta behave. My moderator's gonna kick you out every time. Who got muted on TikTok? See, y'all gotta stop playing with the moderators. The moderators on TikTok do not play, Jesus. They said you gotta get up out of here quickly. Okay. I'm about to say it wasn't me. I'm about to say I didn't kick nobody. Well, somebody got kicked and they must have said something crazy. So too bad, so sad, child. Too bad, so sad. I need to figure out where my liner is. There we go. So y'all know, or if you've been around and you've cared for long enough, y'all know that I have been wearing my signature blue eyeliner for years, right? And this is by Urban Decay. It's like a $24 pencil. And that's not even inflation. This pencil has been $24 since I've been buying it pretty much. And I found a little dupe at Sephora that I'm going to start wearing. And I can't wait for y'all to know about it. But outside of that, what I also have another announcement about is that if you were not able to see the Not Your Average Girl film while we were on tour, so many of you all asked me about Not Your Average Girl and how can you watch it and how can you see it and all of the things, X, Y, and Z. And so here's the thing. I am having a virtual screening on June 1st. Okay. Hey, how you doing, Norman? But yes, I am having a virtual screening of my documentary, Not Your Average Girl, on June 1st. And if you want tickets for the screening, you can head over to my website. Okay. you can head over to my website and I am going to be selling the tickets. That blue is everything on you. Hey Sherelle, thank you so much, boo. Um, but yeah, if you want to see the Not Your Average Girl documentary, if you missed it while it was on tour, you didn't have an opportunity, you bought a ticket but you couldn't come for whatever reason, then head over to my website. It's hopegiselle.com. Okay. You head right on over to hopegiselle.com. And baby, when I tell you, okay, when I tell you, it's just gonna be a vibe. It will be a vibe. Okay. It'll be a whole little vibe. And you just gotta head on over to hopegiselle.com to pick up your tickets. Um, And yeah, you'll be able to come on out and watch it with us virtually, because I know a lot of people were trying to be a part of the festivities that are the Not Your Average Girl tour, but we didn't stop in every city. And we're working on fundraising to get another, in-person leg of the tour. But there were so many people that were showing love. There were so many people that really wanted to see this film. um so me and the team were just like, let's give the people what they want. Let's, make sure that the people have access to see this. And one of the ways that we knew that we can make sure that you all had access to see it is if we made a virtual version. So if you are one of those people that wanted to see the film, but you could not make it out to the tour, the Not Your Average Girl tour is being brought to your home for a nominal fee. And typically, like I always do, I have 3 different tiers. I have my Sunflower Patch ticket, which is just a ticket to watch the movie. I have my Hopeful ticket, which is a ticket to watch both the film and the talk back afterwards. That'll happen with a special guest. And then I also have my Legacy ticket. And the Legacy ticket will have access to everything that's in the first 2 tickets, plus some special merchandise from me that will be mailed to you. So for all of you all that still wanted the experience, if you wanted to support, like all of the people who wanted to support, but you, like all of my people who are not in the US, you can definitely support this way, because we will have a connectivity to be able to screen this film pretty much anywhere in the world, because we're using a system that is used by film festivals. And so it'll be something that folks can have access to no matter where you are in the world. So please feel free to grab you a ticket if you feel so inclined and you want to see the movie, but you could not make it to the in-person tour. So yeah, um, that is that as far as that's concerned. I just wanted to make sure that I did a little pitch and push for the movie while I had you all's attention right quick, right fast. How do y'all like the makeup? How do y'all like the makeup? How is it turning out for y'all? Y'all like it? Is it cute? Am I giving you life? Am I giving y'all everything that y'all need? Is it diffused enough? Is it giving you everything that you need? Is it diffused? Is it life? Is it love? Is it doing what you need it to do? Good, because I have a meeting in like 5 minutes. And so the makeup has to do what it needs to do. Y'all gotta like the makeup. Like, because if y'all don't like the makeup, it ain't nothing I can do about it right now. But I think y'all like the makeup. Stunning as always, obviously. Thank you, girl. But yeah, so I am getting ready to go ahead and hop on to my next meeting. But I am gonna obviously let y'all see the finished product, because I know some of y'all finna be like, "Don't you dare, bitch!" I can already hear some of y'all like, "Bitch, you better not get your ass off of here." I thought I sat up here with you for an hour talking shit. I know y'all was gonna cuss me the fuck out. Like, girl, we done sat up here with you for an hour doing this makeup, and you really finna have the nerve and the unmitigated goal to leave us here? Like, you really think you finna just leave us here after we done sat here and waited for you to finish this whole phase? So this is for the people who have been here this entire time. Because obviously, child, I hate these little minis, but I don't like. Ah! I don't like buying the full until I know that I like the color. Because some of these like designer makeup brands like Valentino and Chanel and all of those people, they lipsticks and all of their makeup and stuff do not be giving what it's supposed to give. Like I bought that Louis Vuitton. Um, I bought that Louis Vuitton eyeshadow palette. Don't do it. Do not do it. Do not. Whatever you do, if you can afford to not do that, then just don't buy that Louis Vuitton eyeshadow palette. Because I know that some of us be wanting to treat ourselves, but not with that. Just I'm telling you, as a girl who spent her money on it, you ain't got to spend your money on it. Just don't spend your money on that shit because it's not worth it. Okay. Okay. Right. I think we're in the money, everybody. I think we are in the money, everybody. We're gonna put a little gloss on here. Hey, RJ. I am doing an event with RJ out here really, really, really soon. I'm gonna post it, RJ. I promise you, I'm gonna post it, but I'm a girl who has her own post schedule. So when people be like, "Oh, um, I'm gonna send you this thing to collab on," if it don't work with the schedule I already got, you gonna wait. But I like to make sure that people know that I haven't forgotten. I will be promoting, but I have other things that I needed to post out. So, but we are definitely gonna get the people in this space, RJ. Because the people need to be here, especially if you're in Atlanta. Y'all need to be your butts in the place. Okay. My final and finishing little touch. And yes, RJ, you see the signature blue liner. You see it. You see the signature blue liner. You better let the people know. For the people that don't know. Okay. Voila. I actually stole this highlighter from my mama. And I know she is looking for it. And I'm just gonna pretend like I don't have it because girl, you're not getting it back. You're not getting it back, honey bunch. And look at that. Just like that. Just like that. She's right on time, girls. Yeah, just like that. She's right on time, girls. Girly pops and boys and theys and them and femmes and she-hulks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. All right. And setting spray still got to dry down a little bit, but y'all get the gist. This is the look. This is the look. And thank y'all for sitting with me through this Get Ready with me. And I'm going to see y'all around. And until next time, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all later.